new short draw efficient elite bow called the Allure. Let's see if it's all that. Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here at podiumarcher.com talking about the new Elite Allure. This is their new short draw performance bow. Some might call it a lady's bow just because of that size, but it is I think it's the first one they've made in a while. I haven't made any changes, and there haven't been a whole bunch of this parameter of bow subject into the market, so it's kind of a big deal for the shorter draw length people. This bow retails for $12.49. It has a estimated speed of 340 foot per second if you could get this bow to 30 inches, but this bow goes to 28 inches. In fact, it goes from 23 to 28, which is a decent draw length spectrum for the short draw people, whether it be kids or ladies. However, it would be nice if it went a little shorter, especially for a kid in the growth potential. It does have an up to 90% let off. It's a 40-pound peak, 50-pound peak, or 60-pound peak. And let's see here, weighs 4 pounds, axle to axle 31 inches, and brace height of 6 1/4. So let's see what we have for those things. Measure our brace height first. And that is spot on 6 1/4. Our axle to axle, maybe 31 1/16. 31 1/16 and 6.25. That's accurate. Let's see how long our riser is. Around this side might be a little easier. Oops, nope, it's not going to be. We'll do it over here. This looks like the riser is about 27 inches. And we'll measure our reflex. I'm going to rotate this to where it's a little flatter because that'll be easier to do. Tricky here. Looks like about 2.5, just like the other two bows that we tested, which in my world is quite a bit. Now at shorter draw lengths, it's not nearly as critical, so that might not matter as much on these. And you will find a lot of these short draw performance bows do tend to have more reflex in them because they're trying to squeeze a little more speed out of it. 2.5. Let's check our physical weight here. I say this bow weighs 4 pounds. I would say this scale should say about probably 4.5, give or take. And it's saying about 4.7. So I would say it's probably a little heavier than they say it is. It's probably more like 4.7 equaling probably 4.1 to 4.2. If you take off the rest and take off the vibration dampeners and whatnot that they're adding on to that. And let's see what weight we have it set at. This is a 50-pound bow. So we are going to shoot 250 grain arrows, 350 grain arrows, and 450 grain arrows for you. So you can get an idea on speed projection. That's 51.8. So we're going to back off a half turn. .3. That should be close enough. All right, let's see how this sucker feels. Point to the front of the bolt, I would give it 28 3/4 to 28 7/8. So it's a little long from what they say it is, but it's not terribly. So little disappointing though, because all their other ones were super duper close. Okay, so in order to try to keep this uniform, even though this is a short draw length and lighter poundage, for feel and vibration, we're still going to use the 350 grain arrows. So my first 3 shots, and then we'll test the vibration. It draws really, really easy. I mean, granted, it is 50 pounds, so it's going to feel pretty easy in 28.5 inches, but that's a nice smooth draw and a good, relatively firm back wall. Dissipates to nothing really quickly. Even with a 350 grain arrow, you should still feel something. And there's a little bit of forward movement in it, but it's not a lot. Nothing that would, you know, be alarming by any means. Yeah, so there's an initial, you kind of feel a whoop, a little surge, but it dissipates super fast. So definitely not vibraty and definitely not jumpy, but there is a little, you can feel it. Like if I didn't quite hang on to it, it might leave your hand just barely, but not a lot. Yeah, a little bit, but still really reasonable and really decent. Let's try our vibration meter. All right, 3 shots with vibration, 350 grain arrows, 50 pounds. $11.88, that is the lowest one we've seen. Doesn't exactly surprise me, being this is the lightest poundage bow we've shot. So it is measuring something effectively, I think. $11.46. $10.72. So give it like an 11.2 if you average the 3 out. And that is the lowest number again. That's pretty darn good. But it's a 50-pound bow, so it's going to be less. So we'll call it 11.2. Okay, this is the Allure speed test. Mind you, this is a 28-inch draw length bow, not 30. And the speed test is based off of 30 at 340 feet a second. So we're going to say typically the most you would get is 15 feet per inch. So if this bow's 28, this bow should shoot like 310 if we're being fair in what this is. This is a 250 grain arrow at 50 pounds at 28 inches. .314. So that is actually faster than what it should range at, which is great. That's a really good speed for a 28-inch bow at 5 grains a pound. .313. .311. So we'll give you a 313 there, and then we'll shoot some 350s and 450s. Okay, here's some 350 grain arrows at 50 pounds, 28 inches. .269. .270. .269. So we'll take a 269 average there. And let's shoot some 450s. All right, now the 450s. .239. This one's missing a fletch, so we'll probably have a couple of feet more for that. It's lighter. .240. Duplicate .240. So .240 overall there. Those, all right, let's take a look here. 240. Okay. We got our speed published at 340 for a 30-inch draw length, and we shot 313, which is, to me, faster than they're saying. So that's actually really good speed for that bow. I got to give you a good mark there. That's 5. I mean, can you get a 6-inch brace height bow to go faster than that? Possibly, but you're being more than honest about what you're saying your bow does, and I want to reward that. Our weight was good. I think that a bow this size could probably be a little bit lighter, but not that much. I'll give you a good mark there at a 4. Axle to axle was super close. 31's a good overall dimension and a 6 1/4 brace. It's a little off, but not much. I'll give you a 4 there, and your brace for that config is really fair. Honestly, I'd give you a 5 there. Again, so. Okay, we had to go back and check some of the stuff we measured here because I was off on a couple of things. That bow was shot at 28.5, not 28. So that really probably should have been shooting 318, 319. 313 is still a good speed, but I am going to give them a 4 because they're a little slow on what they said it was on that bow. It's still a good speed, so don't get it twisted there. The bow actually weighs out at 4.2. And I think that probably, I mean, for a shorter draw length, lighter designed bow, that's probably a little bit on the heavy. I'm still going to keep that number at a 4 though, because it's not ridiculously heavy by any means. And it is a 31-inch axle to axle bow. That's not a heavy bow when you're weighing those out in comparison. The brace height was right on. The axle to axle was a little long, but not much. The actual draw length was 3/8 of an inch long. So I probably got to give you like a 2 on that because that's one of the longer off ones that we've seen. And a bow at 2.5 inches of reflex with an over 6-inch brace height to me is a lot. I think I'm going to give you a 2 on that too. I'd like to see that number in the 1 point something, and preferably like an inch shorter, and reflex would be nice. Those dimensions, that shouldn't be that hard to do. Tunability, I'm going to give you a 5. I really am. Well, granted, you don't have a timing adjustment, but compared to most other bows, you have a lot of tunability in these bows. You can shim the cams out, and you can adjust the turret here, and you can adjust the cable guard here. That's a lot of versatility for tuning, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a 5 there. Features. You don't have a pick mount on this bow. You don't have a rear mount on this bow. You do have an integrated V-bar and some pretty nice quivers for it, but outside of that, I mean, features is not tunability, right? So I can't take, hey, there's some really cool things here or there, etc. Do have adjustable let-off, a pretty versatile adjustable let-off. I'll give you a 3 for features. I'd like to see a front and a rear. I don't know if I can justifiably do that, really. No, I'm going to give you a 2. You need to add more stuff. You really do. Front mount, rear mount, things like that would be nice. Balance overall, the bow's actually got a relatively good balance. It's a tiny bit top heavy, but it's still pretty nice. The back wall is pretty good. It's very adjustable. It's still got a little sponge to it, but it's really not bad. This is one of the best grips machined into a riser out there. I'm going to give you a 5 on the grip. Draw cycle is really nice. The bow pulls really good. It's close to one of the best ones I've felt, but not the best, so it's close. Vibration at 11.2 for a 4-pound bow is a pretty good number. It's not one of the best numbers we've seen, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a 4. This is going to evolve as time goes on. This is our first time checking vibration as a tool, so you got to be fair with that. Now, the Allure is being kind of touted as a ladies' bow, so at $12.49, that's up there. It's not the most expensive ladies' bow on the market, but most of them are coming in at a cheaper price, so I'm going to give you a 3 on the price. You are putting most of the stuff, if not all of the stuff, that's in your adult male bows, but I have to compare this to like your Primas, your Eclipses, and things like that, and that's a little on the high side compared to some of the other ones. So let's see what we end up with here. 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 30 for the MFO. 7, 8, 9, 14, 18, 20, 22 for the high score. Okay, not terrible numbers by any means. There's some functional things here that could be improved, but all in all, this is a very nice bow, and if you're in that short draw length category and that's what you're looking at trying, this is definitely a bow you want to try. We will do a more elaborate comparable to all the bows that we carry that are short draw length this year, so you have some variables to look at and try to compare to help pick. But for now, that's the review of this bow. Comment down below on what you think. I'm sorry this review was delayed over when all the other ones came out, but I didn't have the right weight arrows to test this at 5 grains a pound up until recently, and then got inundated with like 12 of them that I had to do in like a week. So I would have got this out about a week ago if I could have, But it's out now. Hopefully it helps, and hopefully you haven't made a decision yet, so you still have it to review off of. This is a heck of a nice bow. Comment down below on your thoughts, and make sure to follow along on Instagram and YouTube. Like and subscribe, because that helps us out a lot. We will have the giveaways coming up real quick here. I promise. It's been a while, I know. Overloaded, a lot of scheduling, but I want to be able to sit down with each person and be able to go through them with them, and that requires time, and now I will have some here really quick. So thanks for watching.